In today's video, I want to share with you a conversation I had with a gentleman by the name of Mark after he heard me talk on my Coach Robb podcast about the 4 elements associated with life. If you have followed me for any period of time, you know I believe that every minute of our existence falls into 4 categories: personal, professional, financial, and athletic. I always say that our life is a teeter-totter. We have a big square that has those 4 quadrants, and on the other side we have the same size square that is literally made up of nothing more than eating and sleeping enough, both on the quality and the quantity side. You deal with stress on a daily basis, you have to be able to offset it with food and sleep. The bigger your box on the left, the bigger the box has to be on the right. That's how you stay in balance. But when Mark hit me up with this question, he is struggling with the idea of when he goes to bed at night, he finds that quadrant of 4, his mind is in just in a state of being overwhelmed. And his question was, what can he do? And I've gone through this with so many people, I wanted to put it into a video for you, and I hope it makes the same impact that I've had with others. Please go get a 5-subject spiral notebook, and I want you to attach this to your hip. I want you, and you've, depending on how long you've followed my videos, you may have heard me use this illustration before. Don't think about a pink cow with black spots. Don't think about a pink cow with black spots. And of course, your brain immediately went to a pink cow with black spots. And the reason why this has become such an issue when you go to bed is our brain, like we're not worried about our children are tucked in, our partner's next to us, everything is good, right? Then we start thinking about all the other things that we still need to do. So your little brain gets going in there, and I don't say that disrespectfully, your brain gets going, all these little thoughts. Hey, don't forget tomorrow you've got to pay this bill. Hey, don't forget you got to get the tires rotated. Hey, don't forget and so you start saying the word don't, and you notice that your heart rate starts to get elevated. Because what you're doing is you're saying to yourself, don't forget about this, don't forget about that, don't forget about this. Grab your 5-spiral notebook that's sitting right next to the bed and get your thoughts down. Break them into the 5 categories: personal, professional, financial, and athletic. Put them in whatever order you need to. So when you lay down at night, and we're making an assumption that you're going to bed early enough, you've gone through that whole decompression, that entire schedule to make sure that your teeth are brushed, you've satisfied appetite, whatever your routine is before bed. When you get ready to lay down, there's no TV, there's no phone, there's no audible sounds in the room. You can't hear anybody in the room beside you. Use earplugs if you have to. And your brain starts running. Well, now you've got the best of both worlds. You've given yourself a little bit of room in your evening schedule. Sit with it and get all your thoughts. I call it's like pulling a computer chip out of your brain and getting all your thoughts onto paper. I know it may sound a little bit crazy if you've never done it before, but there's just something incredibly empowering when you lay down and you know that all of your good thoughts are literally sitting in that spiral notebook. Now, you've got all these thoughts in your notebook, right? As you get more comfortable with this whole procedure and this whole process, I now want you to move to your daily schedule, because all of your good thoughts need to have time to be implemented. So for example, I only pay my bills personally and professionally 1 day a month. I use a 1 through 31 manila folder system, and I have a January through a December manila folder system. If I don't have to, I only look at a piece of paper, I only touch it 2 times. One to file it, and the second to deal with it. So when a bill comes in, I put it in the 15th category. If it's a bill that's not due until March, I put it in the March calendar. Now, on my calendar on the 15th, not only do I pay all the bills for that month, personally and professionally, I look at the next month, I pull that folder out and go, okay, this one's due on the 23rd. I put that in the 15th of the current month, and I pay it on the 15th. I'm always ahead of the curve, but I only touch the paper twice. If I get an email, I know some people would disagree with me on this, but I print it. I'm a little bit old school. I want to make sure nothing slips through the cracks, but I don't want to have to be going to 100 places to make sure that on the 15th when I pay my bills, it's right where I need it to be. It's one less thing I have to worry about throughout the month. Now, if you think about that, you've got to order new cleats for your child's soccer. Okay, great. When in your schedule this week are you going to get to it? Oh, I need to get the tires rotated on the car. When are you going to schedule it? It's a great idea. You remembered it. It's on in your spiral notebook. Now you got to convert it to when are you going to actually implement it. And I promise it'll start to become a little bit easier to drop things in, because what we recognize is we just keep running out of time. You've heard me say this previously. Most people run through a drive-through because there's not a cooler in the car, and there's not a cooler in the car because nothing's been cooked and prepped and packed. And the reason why it hasn't been cooked and prepped is because it wasn't purchased at the grocery store. It all boils back to didn't have enough time. We're not playing the victim card. We just need to plan for success. If we come back to the idea of how do I get that mental stress out? I feel like I'm always going to forget something. Write it down, and then make sure you have time to address what you had written down. So I hope that helps. I know that after speaking with so many clients, stay-at-home moms, elite athletes, it doesn't matter what category you want to put yourself in, this is an incredibly powerful exercise. Like I said, if you ever saw me and I'm not in my office, I always have my spiral notebook with me. If you ever come to a performance camp, you'll always notice I have my spiral notebook with me. Always, everywhere I go. I just want to encourage you, everything that I'm recommending to you, I've used it both myself and shared it with my clients and have had tremendous success. And I want to share all these successes with you guys. Thank you for your time here today. If you have something that you need some help on, please send me an email. The number of emails continue to escalate every week, and we're forever thankful. We're putting out a video every day answering these questions, so if you have one, please send it in. contact@coachrob.com. I want to thank you for your time. Turn on the notifications. Make sure you subscribe. I appreciate your time here today, and I certainly look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.